By popular demand, you guys voted for me to cover more psychology and persuasion content of Andrew Tate, how he markets to you, how he sells to you, how he builds his brand and gets the audience to like him. Now, I've covered a few of these breakdown videos and I enjoy doing them. Covered Alex Hormozi, Iman Gadzhi, Liver King, and broke down all the little persuasion principles they're doing. But we have a repeat winner, and that repeat winner is Andrew Tate, which really speaks to just how much of a polarizing figure he is. Because you see the people who watch Andrew Tate, some like him, some love him, some hate him, right? But everyone watches him. And the reason they watch him is because he's so controversial and there's such hot takes on things. But today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna break into some of the psychology which he uses when he's actually trying to sell to you, and where he comes up on the spot with these highly persuasive messages. Hope you enjoy the video. So up first, I've got this little clip here of Andrew Tate telling us about how important it is to have great communication skills. And the interesting thing is all these gurus, all these influencers that I cover, they have all got a specific strength in communication. Alex Hormozi can break down complex business ideas very, very simply. Liver King can inspire people with his words. But Tate himself here is talking about just how much you need communication skills to get an idea across. Listen to what he says.
The second thing, whatever your ideas are, you need to learn how to communicate them. Speaking is a superpower in and of itself. You need to become a fantastic communicator. You need to be comfortable in all realms of communication. You need to be persuasive. You need to be comfortable arguing. You need to be good at debating. There's a lot of people out there in the world who have ideas that they can't even project into somebody else's mind. How are you going to get your ideas out there and make an influence if you can't make other people understand exactly what you think? That's the first thing. Second thing, once they understand exactly what you think, you need to make them agree with what you think. These are two different skills. Must be practiced and must be learned. If you're 20 years old and you want to change the world, you need to be having endless debates without resorting to name calling, in person. And you need to come across in a way that people agree with you.
So did you pick up two things which were happening there? He was specifically telling you, first of all, the importance of practice and why you should be getting yourself in front of audiences. You should be having debates in person with people to sharpen that communication skill. He obviously practices it all the time. And before he even started his podcast circuit, he was obviously quite well practiced because he was very sharp. And being a verbally sharp person will mean that you'll be able to create highly persuasive arguments without much prompting, with no scripting at all. And we've seen him do this in previous videos where he's just come up with a highly persuasive argument completely on the fly, which demonstrates that high verbal IQ, but also practice as well. Secondly, let's watch a little bit of that again and see if you pick up on something he does there.
That's the first thing. Second thing, once they understand exactly what you think, you need to make them agree with what you think. These are two different skills. Must be practiced and must be learned.
So did you pick up on the subtler bits of psychology though? He started it by telling you he's going to tell you a few key points. He says key point number 1, key point number 2, right? This is called an open loop in psychology. If you hear a numbered list, you will need to hear the end of the list to close the loop, because curiosity gets the better of you, right? So he right here, while he's telling you how to be an effective communicator, is actually demonstrating it as well. And he's demonstrating it in a slightly different way than what he's telling you about. So he's creating this list. You need to do this first of all, you need to do this afterwards. And people want to listen to all the items on that list to see what resonates with them more. People don't like to hear part of a story, they like to hear the full story, and the same is true for lists. And the loop will not be closed in psychology until they listen to the full thing or listen to the full story as well. And he knows this, and he's strategically saying there's a few key points to this. 1, 2. Secondly, what he's doing, did you pick up on it? He's speaking with absolute conviction. He's telling you exactly what you need to do right now. If you were to stop on the street and ask someone for directions and you said, you know, how do I get to the nearest train station? And they were like, I think you've got to go to the end of this road, or maybe is it the other road, and you've got to turn right there and maybe walk 2 or 3 minutes down that road. You'd be like, I don't trust this guy's advice at all. I'm probably going to get lost. However, if that person said to you, no problem, I know exactly how to get to the train station. You walk straight down this road here. When you see the big red sign which says stop, you turn left there, you head on for about 200 meters, you can't miss it, it's the train station right there in front of you. You'd be like, great, I'm gonna follow this guy's instructions. Conviction is a powerful way of basically getting trust from somebody, and also being seen as more believable as well. And he knows this and he does it very, very, very well. Up next was a really interesting clip as well. Andrew Tate breaks down the 101 of selling, and it is creating a need. Listen to what he says, and then in a moment, we're going to watch how he actually applies this on you.
This is one of the most basic tenets of business. You have to convince people they need whatever you sell. You don't talk about the product. You talk about their need. What's the old adage that they do? Sell me this pen. Have you ever heard that before? Sell me this pen. People go, oh, well, this pen is blue and this pen is, it's made of plastic and it's durable. No, that's not how you sell a pen. Sell me this pen. You need to be able to write things down. But I've already got a pen. Yeah, but now you can write more things down because you have another pen. How are you going to write down all your ideas? Think of all the things you can write down. You can write the next novel. You can become J.K. Rowling. You can become a billionaire. Most people don't sell the need. Have you noticed with me, I never sell the product. So let's look at my products compared to other dorks who sell stuff online. So you'll see other dorks who go, my 18-page...
Dorks. Bro is so left field with some of these insults.
So whatever you're selling, it doesn't matter what it is, sell the need. Even if you're selling fucking raspberries, they need raspberries. Why do I need raspberries? You need raspberries because it's good for your, I don't know, immune system. Talk some shit. Super berries, whatever. That's what goji berries do. What the fuck is a goji berry? I've never heard of a goji berry.
It's hard not to watch some of the things he says and how he gets distracted and starts just a beef with goji berries, right? But important thing he's saying there is he's telling you to sell the need, not the product. Never sell the product. And what does he offer at the moment? He offers Hustlers University. I believe it's been rebranded. Is it the Real World that it's been rebranded to, or has it been rebranded again? But what is the need within, the Real World or Hustlers University? What is the need with needing to learn how to make money online? Let's look at him create the need right in front of us right now.
What exactly is the Matrix?
I'm talking about the systems which have been created by society, which are deliberately designed to enslave. In the movie, the Matrix were used for our body heat, but here in this Matrix, we're used for our efforts and our energies. And you're existing inside of a system which is deliberately rigged to make the rich richer and for the poor to stay poor.
Yeah.
And you can sit there and get upset about it. You can sit there and cry.
Do you see how he's creating this need from the matrix that he's talking about? The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. Watch it. He's assembling it. He's well practiced on this stuff.
About it and say the system needs to change, which is what some people do, socialists, XYZ. But I know that's a waste of time, right? The best thing to do is to understand the rules of the game and find a way to win.
To understand the rules of the game and find a way to win. So he's creating that need there. And what's the way to win? What's going to teach you the rules of the game? Well, we're going to find out any second.
Yes, the game is rigged. Yes, the rich are always going to get richer. Yes, the poor are always going to struggle. And that's the way the game is set up. So you still need to find the best move on the chessboard. There's no point sitting there saying, I want to play a different game, because that's never going to happen. Because the people with the money are the people who have control and they have the power. And why would they have the game set up any other way? Even giving money to the poor ends up back in the hands of the rich. So that's kind of how it works. And it's getting worse and worse. It's have-nots and have-yachts.
So what he's talking about here of losing money and it's getting worse, he's touching on a very important psychological trigger here. And the trigger is called loss aversion. And the idea of loss aversion, it's a cognitive bias, which means it's a mishap of human judgment. So as a practical example, how loss aversion works. If I said, if you do task A, B, and C, whatever that is, over the next month, I will give you a Ferrari. You will think, oh, great, that's amazing. I'd love to get a Ferrari. I want to do task A, B, and C. But what will be even more powerful is, hey, here's a Ferrari for you. If you don't do task A, B, and C, over the next month, I'm going to take that Ferrari from you. People feel a lot of pain having things taken from them, more pain than the pleasure they would get from receiving something. So it's called loss aversion. Humans feel pain of losing something more than they do of the reward of gaining something. And he knows this strategically, and he's talking about money being taken from your hands and the rich are getting richer. And he's painting this whole picture of that, these people, these rich guys are taking all your money, right? Here's another interesting clip where he's basically all the skills and the persuasion techniques that I've just talked about, he kind of puts them together here. He is creating this matrix as a common enemy. He's using that loss aversion to try and cause pain in the viewers to move them to action here. And he's speaking with absolute conviction as well.
The system which is designed to keep you as a slave is strong. How could it exist any other way? Because there's very few of them and there's a lot of you. The system is extremely strong and is designed to keep most of the people at the bottom slaving away, praying to have money they're never going to have so that those at the top can stay filthy, filthy rich. To attack a system like this...
It's such interesting psychology. He's creating that common enemy for people to unite behind. It's the matrix. It's the rich getting richer. He's painting this really greedy picture of the people at the top. And he's doing this, once again, on the fly with absolute conviction, causing that loss aversion of, people are never going to have the future that they want to have.
There has to be a chink in the armor. Something has to happen, which the matrix has not prepared itself for. So there's an opportunity for the masses, for people at the bottom, for the shit munchers to break through and become ultra high net worth individuals.
This is called urgency. Right now, he's saying there's an opportunity which is coming up and it's incredibly rare. He's creating that opportunity as a scarce event, right? It's an event which very rarely happens. He's getting people to take action by specifically saying this is a rare opportunity and the chink in the armor is starting to be weakened, and he's going to start saying now how it's time to actually attack and take action on this.
If you cannot feel in the air, if you have half a brain, you should feel it in the air. You should feel it when you wake up. You should feel it when you look around you, that the world is not...
This is a funny thing about human nature is every person in human nature views themselves as above average, when realistically, they're not really above average, right? Because average exists for a reason. 50% of people are above average, 50% of people are below average. So he is saying this to people. If you have half a brain, everyone who's watching this is going to identify that they're actually above the average of being intelligent. And so this message is actually going to resonate with them a little bit more. It's very, very clever what he's doing on the fly.
The world is not the same as it was. Things have happened this year and last year which will never ever happen again. And the financial system, the judicial system, the immigration systems, all the systems of Earth which function in a particular way have broken down because society no longer functioned in a way it was supposed to function. The matrix is weak now. You have an opportunity to make more money than you've ever had in your entire life. You understand inflation is coming.
So he's also taking advantage of trends here as well. So I'm just looking at the date of this video here. I'm not sure it's quite in the camera, but you can see that the date of this video was 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, there was lots of fear in the market because most of the world was locked down. A lot of people were staying at home where they were just watching the news, receiving all of these messages that, the world is completely out of control. Inflation's absolutely huge. And by the way, he's not wrong when he's saying that, but he's using this trend strategically to amplify his message of the matrix. And he's saying now is the opportunity. He's creating that urgency, that scarcity, using that loss aversion, uniting everyone together under a common enemy. And it's the matrix to fight back against it. When you think of the matrix, you think of, the epic fight scenes in it. It's brilliant what he's doing. This is very, very clever stuff. Whether it's ethical, that's a different story, to be honest with you. And leave that to you guys in the comments to work that out, whether it's ethical, right? But the marketing message, the highly persuasive message that he's crafted here right now with absolute conviction, very, very, very potent.
And that's not a bad move, but there is so much more you could do. You need to start preparing for the impending fiscal doom, which will bestow most of the average people of Earth. Most Joe Schmoes of Earth, they don't know what they're waiting for, but I'll say what they're waiting for. They're waiting to be crushed. That's what's going to happen. A 2% pay rise at your job's not going to do it. You need a plan to benefit from this inflation so you can ride the tidal wave as opposed to being run over by it. Hustlers University, that's exactly what we're doing. We are preparing for inflation. We are inflation hedging.
He's caused that mass amount of pain there. He's talked about the common viewers' situation, so it resonates with them. This is triggering the likability bias because people think, hey, the situation he's describing sounds exactly like the situation that I'm going through right now. So when content resonates with a certain type of person, they start really paying attention to it. And he's saying enough is enough, it's time to fight back.
It doesn't matter if you have $1 or $30 million like me. This is the only school online that's going to teach you exactly what to do to make sure you are not crushed along with...
He just casually in that section there referenced his credentials, making him appear as an authority, making him appear as an expert, and he did it very casually in conversation. He says you could have $1 or you could have $30 million like me, solidifying the fact that he's an authority to speak on this subject.
The normies. And if you're sitting here and you've watched this video and you do not take the steps as a full-grown adult to educate yourself about your impending doom, you deserve what happens to you.
So this type of message resonates with a certain type of person, right? Some people, if you look at what Liver King did in one of my previous videos, he uses empathy, and it's very effective, very, very effective. And he hits those group of people who are all susceptible to hearing empathy, to put the hand on your shoulder and say, you know, it's okay, but let's get through this together. That's Liver King's message right here. Andrew Tate comes across more as the tough love figure, the drill sergeant who's not telling you what you want, but telling you what you need. And that message resonates with a lot of people. And I think at every stage in a man's life, that message can be amplified even more. When I was in my teens, early 20s, I used to go to combat sports, I used to go to boxing and things like that. And some of the main boxing instructors would just be ruthless with you, but they would equip you with what you needed, not what you wanted. And a lot of the time that was really tough love. So we're going to cover a little bit more in a minute and why that message is even more effective than what I've shown there. But you can see he's an incredibly effective communicator. He's speaking with conviction. He's showing his authority. He is creating that urgency, that scarcity. He's, you know, probably stepping over some boundaries there. I'll leave that for you guys to decide in terms of, you know, what sort of level of pain he's causing, because it seems to be just for his own gain here, to be honest. He's just effectively positioning his solution, which at the time I believe was Hustle's University, as the solution to alleviate the pain there. So he's created that need, what he's talked about, spoke at you with conviction, created that loss aversion, did all this authority stuff just in a few minutes. But how he's done this is actually even more important than what you think. And here's the reason.
Logan is a man who says things that because he thinks he's supposed to say them, which makes him an agent of the Matrix, makes him a coward. And anyone who supports that, anyone who's going to sit here and say, oh, for our safety, it's good that we hand over absolute control of the world narrative.
Anyone who now argues with him, who takes a counter position to him, I believe he had some sort of beef with Logan Paul, he has already created this common enemy where everyone can unite under, which is the Matrix. And it's got all these bad connotations as part of the Matrix, you know. It's the Matrix is trying to attack you. And the Matrix is trying to take your money. It's leaving all the poor people poor. It's, you know, making all the rich people filthy rich, right? He's created this enemy and he's described it quite well throughout the previous years of all of his content. So anyone now who sees Andrew Tate, they understand exactly what the Matrix is, right? So what he does now is anybody that argues with him, anybody that has anything to say, which is counter to Andrew Tate's beliefs or has beef with him, he just defines them as part of the Matrix, which has all these negative connotations already set up that he's previously set up. Here's a clip from where he got arrested and he does exactly the same thing.
Yeah, the Matrix is trying to frame me, but God knows the truth. There's no evidence in my files. I've done nothing wrong.
The Matrix is trying to frame me, but God knows the truth. So he's already created the trap and he's united everyone under this common enemy, which is the Matrix, right? The Matrix is about the rich taking from you, you getting crushed as a poor person. If you've watched Andrew Tate stuff, you understand what the Matrix is and what he's talking about, right? He's taken this common enemy, which he's already united you under, and anybody who opposes him now, whether it's the media, whether it's Logan Paul, whether it's another influencer, whether it's the court case, he can get people to rally behind him because everyone has already been united to fight this common enemy. Or you can say the Matrix wants to silence me because I'm trying to help all the poor people. I'm trying to take from the rich and give to the poor, kind of like Robin Hood, right? And it doesn't want me to do that. So now they're attacking me. And it's a very crafty narrative to run to basically flip the script on what's happening there. And look, guys, I know a lot about persuasion and a lot about cognitive biases, behavioral science, because companies hire me, you know, part of my business, it's one of my income streams. Companies hire me to go to their companies and work out how they can create more persuasive messages and do things like this ethically, right? And I know a lot of the studies on it. And I'm watching this content right now, and I am still surprised and genuinely like a little bit blown away that somebody can come and flip the script so easy and take a narrative and change it so it's in their favor and use all these little psychological biases and rally people behind them to such an extent. It's pretty friggin' genius, to be honest with you. And this video isn't about I'm not a lawyer, right? This video isn't about whether he's guilty or whether he's not, or whether I like Andrew Tate or whether I don't like Andrew Tate. But sometimes you've got to sit back and analyze these situations of how these people use them particularly well. So A, you can either protect yourself from persuasive messages which aren't going to benefit you in the long run, because persuasion's all around us, psychology is all around us, right? Or B, you know, you can understand some of this stuff and help yourself get a better outcome in life by, you know, putting some of these things together yourself, ethically, of course. But it's very, very interesting to watch this stuff, and I can see just how he is able to assemble such an army behind him just because of them insane communication skills, high verbal IQ coupled with conviction, and then you've got all these little biases he does. He's doing loss aversion, he's uniting people under a common enemy, he's causing pain to his viewers, positioning his solution right there as well, whilst also sprinkling in that he's an authority figure, an expert as well. It's impressive, to be honest with you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got something from it, and let me know in the comments if you enjoy content like this as well. I hold a poll each week, and you guys basically vote on what content you want me to cover next and what type of person you want me to cover next as well, and I can go in and break down the psychology of what they're using, all the cognitive biases. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed commentating on it. Take it easy. See you in the next video.